Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a review of Medieval Extremes full combat boots with Sabatons with heel protection. All right, Outlaws, before we start this video, I wanted to give a special thank you to Medieval Extreme for making such a great product. I'm already excited about it. I'm really looking forward to getting this review to you. I also want to say, you know, it's not every day you actually get a personal handwritten note from the makers themselves. I mean, that's kind of a rare thing. So what they said is, "Hey David, courage in your heart, steel in your hand." A little handwritten note right there. It's kind of nice. So thank you guys very much. They also gave me a little card, whatnot, to be like, "Hey, you know, we have a favor to ask, give us some feedback." And I'm like, okay, what better way to give feedback than actually do a review video? Let's do this. So, some of you know, have been watching closely with the channel. I've recently, or not very recently, a while ago, joined a Buhurt group. And part of the Buhurt group is you got to get Buhurt armor. You got to get Buhurt weapons. All this working towards the final goal of finishing Colossus Form Phase 3, getting fully armored up, and actually training and being able to wield my Dragon Slayer, my big giant sword, using the Colossus form in full-plated armor. Because eventually we're going to go move into the sparring phase where things get really crazy, but it takes time to get there. So I want to do a review of this. This is a beautiful piece of kit. So this is all brand new. I did wear it yesterday for a little while just to kind of walk around outside, get a feel for it. I did some minor chores in it just so I could get like a good general idea when I did this video. And later in this video, we're also going to be doing a 1 mile walk. I'll just tell you my thoughts after that. We're also going to be doing some sprints, full-on sprints, see how they feel. So like I said before, this was their full combat boots and also basically their full protection Sabatons. When I went and I did my research on the armor, I wanted to make sure I got the best of the best because I want to protect myself. You know, Buhurt's a very violent sport. Literally, the first training session I had with my Buhurt group, 3 people got injured. Pretty bad. Maybe not pretty bad, but not great. It looked painful. And the second time, more people also got hurt. So I want to do my homework and make sure that I was taken care of because I'm already doing something pretty violent and dangerous, swinging around a 48-pound sword doing the Colossus form. And I want to make sure that when I'm sparring other people, that I had the best protection that I can afford. So here it is. So we're going to start off first with the boot right here. So this is their full coverage combat boot. It goes up past the ankle and also bottom parts of the calf, which, you know, might be a little overkill, but I wanted to make sure that there's no accidents or dirt or whatever would kind of like creep up and get into the sole. And also that had that little extra layer of protection on my most critical part of your body. Because at the end of the day, Outlaws, regardless of what you're doing, all of this weight is being supported by your 2 feet. So you got to take care of them. Now, this boot is beautiful. The leather is super thick. It's very well made. It smells amazing. No, it's not smell my feet. It still smells like freaking leather. I like the smell of it. And it looks like it's very well put together. The soles I'm not too crazy about, but one of the rules of Buhurt, one of the first things my group first told me is that you had to make or how to get boots that were historically accurate. Now, there are people put out videos that, hey, you know, this armor is not historically accurate, blah, blah. That's mostly true, or at least I say partially true. Buhurt armor is pretty thick. It's also completely made of hard steel or titanium, which obviously didn't have titanium. Back to the boot, it's not comfortable. It fits me like a glove because it was custom made. But the inside is very hard leather. So I do recommend that you have these wonderful little things. And I also recommend when you order these, because these are custom made, that you have everything in order. One of the first things I always tell you guys, get your gambeson, your chausses, and your protective padding first. Worry about the hard steel plate later, because you can go to practice and wear your gambesons and your padding. In fact, I recommend it, especially if you guys are doing a lot of soft kit fighting. Yeah, you know, you might be like that one kid with big puffy pajamas, or if you want like a thinner gambeson, a thinner chausses, kind of like look like you're wearing regular pajamas, but it will make a huge amount of difference, especially if you have the proper type. And then you can see what works for you gambeson-wise, what doesn't, what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. And then that's going to pay dividends in the long run. Because when you order armor, okay, it's not like ordering a shirt. It's heavy steel. Our titanium, it does not bend like a regular shirt will. So if you don't give the right, proper, accurate measurements, you're setting yourself up for failure. Also, at the same time, before you order anything, make sure you get to know your group a little bit. Also, make sure that you can know your padding properly. Okay, and know your padding thoroughly. That way, you can understand how to properly measure it, what you can cut back on, what you need to add to, so on and so forth. So these are all custom made. These didn't exist. This wasn't off a shelf. They all custom made this. Like this fits my foot like a glove. It's like right on there. And when I did the measurements for my foot, I added in also the measurements for my padding that goes on top. The reason why you want to have padding go up on top is because if you do get accidentally hit, which again, it's not legal in Buhurt, it's 100%, I'm 90% certain it's illegal to hit people right on the foot, because obviously that can severely damage them, injure them, and then you don't want to do that. But if you do get hit, you want something like this protecting your foot, but you also want something protecting you from your armor, because the impact hitting the steel and hard leather transfers straight to your bone on top of your foot. That's going to hurt like hell. It could still break your foot. You may not get completely destroyed if you didn't have anything at all, but it'll still suck. So you definitely want some layer of padding between you and everything else. But as I was saying before, I also recommend some padding on the inside. A simple shoe insole will do this fine. Okay, so that's the boot. The laces are super thick and well put together. There's also these thick layer straps up on top. And what these two little cat whiskers do, or catfish whiskers, or antennas, whatever you want to call them, what they do is they tie down the Sabaton, I'll grab the right side here in a minute, down to the boot. That way it's not like flopping around. Okay, so let's talk a little more about the Sabatons themselves. So these are made out of 1mm spring hardened steel, and they're freaking beautiful. My God, they move great. Look at that. Look at that. That's sexy. And you'll see me run around, do all sorts of kind of craziness with them. And then the heel right here is kind of floating with a little leather strap, and then it straps in the back right there. And on the inside, as you can see, it's blackened to help prevent rusting, which is very smart, because rust and armor maintenance is a pain. Hey. Now, also what's beautiful is Medieval Extreme. I don't know if you guys can see this. Maybe my wonderful camera woman can move closer. They put their mark on a suit of armor. You really know you got a good piece of armor if someone actually takes the time to put their mark on it. Look at that sexiness. Nice. Looks good. Looks awesome. Okay, so it's basically all put together. It is blackened on the inside, and also, again, held together with these metal rivets, and also leather strap on the inside, which keeps it flexible. Super important to have flexibility. You all should know this by now, but if you don't, the old myth that armor were like super stiff and clanky and it would be more harm than good is BS. Armor existed for a long time. Armor didn't go away until firearms got so good that they made them obsolete. That's the only reason why armor disappeared. And even then, armor makes a comeback. Kevlar, everybody. So what these Sabatons do is they go right here on top of the boot. I'll place them here for you. Okay. Lay on top like this. And then you want to attach the heel part right here. And the beautiful thing about it, again, this is all custom made. So they make everything to your measurements. Am I doing it in the right boot, or I got my boot mixed up? Nope, right boot. Okay. You use this strap right here. I use number 2, but honestly, number 1 works just fine too. So use number 1 for right now. Pull through, and you are good to go. Now, I can see some people saying, like, well, what if somebody hits these leather straps? Aren't they coming off? Honestly, if anybody hits you with a blunted weapons, if they're Buhurt approved, hard enough to cut this super thick piece of leather right here and cut it off, ouch. One, the armor probably would have done its job to protect your foot anyways, but 2, it's like, that's really excessive, insane, and I'm pretty confident that's an illegal hit. Okay, so you do it, it's clipped. Now notice, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom and then clap on the ground, and that's important, because you don't really want your Sabaton, your metal, constantly hitting out and go ch-ch-ch-ch. Again, that's going to cause problems, that's going to beat it up, and that's just not going to work that great. It's also going to affect your ability to grip on what's going on around you. So you attach it on the heel just like that. This is it all put together. Covering your ankles, very important, very, very important. Got your heel covered too. That's also super important. And then your leg armor, basically your greaves will come down over it. And good greaves will always have flared out edges all around to make sure you have plenty of ankle mobility. If your greaves don't have good ankle mobility and that flared out, you probably don't have good greaves. So just FYI. All right, so here we are. We're all set up, your foot, and we're good, ready to rock and roll. All right, Outlaws, let's go test this out. Hey, Outlaws. Okay, so I've worn the boots now for a few days, and I've gone on some long walks with them. I did some running with them. You can see they're now starting to show a little bit of wear and tear. Ta-da, no longer brand new and shiny. The plates also, yeah, especially that part right here. The actual Sabatons themselves, you can see, have a little bit of wear and tear just from being moved. But honestly, yeah, this one, it's the black paint. Don't get too carried away with it. But there is, yeah, again, some wear and tear on there. That's normal. I've had no problems with them. Like I said, I've done lots of walking with it. I've done some running with it. I'm going to do some sprints, but I ran into a problem before I was able to start practicing the sprints. You'll see all this on the video. The boot, these are custom leather boots. They're not really that fancy. They're not really that advanced. They're just, nice quality leather sewn together, custom fit. The problem was when they attached both of these parts of the boot, the ankle support, what they did, the seam created a very thick...
Pull the tongue out more.
Very thick line. And the line goes all the way down. And you maybe not see it here, but my foot felt it. And when I was running, all of a sudden I felt this small irritation on the back of my heel that kept rubbing. It's performing very well. We are going to go to a leather worker and get this fixed because I don't want to send it back or ask for another boot or whatever. That's just kind of a waste of time. And again, it's not a bash on Medieval Extreme. It happens. Again, it's custom made. They're not a huge crew, I'm assuming. So accidents do happen.
And the other boot was fine.
Yeah, so this is the left boot that was causing me the problem. The right boot, which I have down here, perfectly okay. There's a small little scuff where the Sabaton metal is rubbing it. But again, I need to have the padding right here to boost it up. I haven't done that yet. And the heel is perfect. The heel, when I go on the inside and I rub it, nice and smooth, as it should be. Completely wonderful, even with insoles in them, which I do have right now. And they trust me, they make a huge difference. Even if you're running around on dirt and grass all day, it'll make a huge difference. But this left side just needs to get fixed. So not the end of the world, Outlaws. Operating greatly. I can't wait to actually try them on fighting. I have practice here in a couple of days, so we'll see how they do. If my boot's ready by then, hopefully it is. All right. Okay, Outlaws, so now we've had the Sabatons Medieval Extreme for 2 weeks. We've brought them to the leather cobbler, which thankfully he was able to fix the heel problem, so it's no longer an issue. I do have some Dr. Scholl's in here now, which makes them way more comfortable. So I've already run them. I've walked long distances in them, and I'll put up my times right in front of you so you can take a look. So they're well broken in, and the leather shoes are much more comfortable. What we're going to do today is we're going to do some sprints. We're going to sprint on flat ground, and then we're also going to sprint uphill to see how well they work, if they really impede me at all, and to show their functionality. Let's do this. Okay, now the next test is, can I climb up this thing with Sabatons, no hands? Let's see. Face. Little challenge. So, climb up, Sabatons, no hands. Let's go.
And it's slippery out.
And it's slippery.
Oh, God.
Totally no hands. See that? So definitely, if you're shopping for Buford Sabatons, give Medieval Extreme a chance. It's really good stuff. Again, it's really proven itself. Last but not least, see you, suckers.